Hey guys, I am so sorry for being late. You would not believe what happened. I received a text message from my bank that asked if this purchase was mine. It was like $159. Let me look again. Hang on one second. It says, okay, so it's from my bank. It says, okay, fraud alert. Did you attempt transaction on debit card ending in at Blizzard Entertainment in California for $159.36? So I asked my husband if he did, and he said no. So I Googled what the company was, and I'm like, well, maybe it's something I got from Amazon, but it's called something different. And this is like some kind of like online gaming thing. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So I said no. So I've been on the phone with the bank this whole time explaining to them that I didn't order any kind of crazy World of Warcraft package. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm a little freaked out. But that's okay because we're still going to have a good show and we're still going to talk about what a skis Josh Duggar is, what a skis his wife Anna is, how disgusting it is that poor Jana, who I call Cinderella, is being dragged through the mud, and a few other things. So let's see who is in here. Oh, Kevin B was in early this morning. Hello, Cato. Hey, Mama K, dodging bullets. Hey, Outlaw Trucker. Cat Chats, Crime, and Coffee. Hello. Oh, there's me. Crime Lines and Lies. I'm going to put on this. I've never seen me up on the screen here. I just said I'm going to be a little late, guys. I apologize. There you go. I'm the first comment up. Just me, Miss Justice 111. You're right. This is another sick case. This dude is so sick and he has gotten away with this shit for too long. I'm glad he's getting. Ugh. Calm down. Hi, Amy. Hi, Tammy. Just roll with it. Natalie Smith. Natalie, she said, this is a thing. I don't care what religion you are. No right from wrong. Exactly, Anna. Natalie, say it louder for those in the back, like Jana Duggar. You should know better. You should know better than to expose your children to the sickness that is your household. Hello, Crystal. Downtown Trina Brown. Good morning. Love that name. Crime Time. I don't know. Wasn't the reason she got into trouble because she was watching too many kids? I don't know, but she's kind of used to that because she raised all her siblings. Danielle. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. If I miss you, Clark, hello, my girl. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Hi, Stevie. I apologize. I'm trying to get through it as fast as I can. If I miss a name, I am sorry. Hello, Shell Vintage. Good afternoon. Just roll with it, said. I changed my whole account number once because of a fraud purchase. That's what I have to do. That's what I have to do. I use this card for Instacart and Amazon. That's it. That's it. That's it. So, let's get to the show, shall we? First of all, I want to address Josh's sentencing. A lot of people are saying he's going to be in jail, 40, 50, 55 years. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to get near as much time as people are saying. I've read a lot of articles that attorneys have put out, that are saying odds are he might serve 10 years. And in a second, I'm going to tell you a story about someone that we know, and her husband did the same nastiness that Josh Duggar did. It's going to blow your mind when you find out how much time he actually served. Now, old Joshy Poo is going to be back at the Duggar compound faster than you can think. It really is. Danielle, the sad fact is Anna probably exposed her kids to Josh's monstrous tendencies. People usually act on things at some point. I totally agree. Also, I want to know why she wouldn't let her own children be examined, put it that way, to be looked at, to make sure nothing happened to them. It's like she loves this status of being a Duggar in an arranged marriage. She loved being part of the 6-part series talking about their courtship and We Never Kissed and their wedding on TLC. She wasn't about to give that up. She threw her own kids under the bus. Yep, exactly. Oh, hang on. Deb wants to come up. Well, hello, Deb.
Hello there. How are you?
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Pretty good. Gonna bounce some things off of you guys, chat, everyone else. I sent Kevin the link. I don't know where Kevin's at. I don't know what the hell's going on because he's gonna love all of this. Supposedly Anna is going to post-trial therapy. So I want everyone's thoughts on this. How is Jim Boob going to handle that? Because therapy is always done through their church. Anything with a DR in front of it doesn't work in that household.
Yep, I agree. Christian, what is it? Some kind of Christian therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Is what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this post-trial therapy, for one, Jim Boob and Michelle, their statement they made after the trial didn't really pull my heartstrings, if you know what I mean. She does need therapy. It's super important, but she's got decisions to make right now. For one, she's a 33-year-old woman who has never worked and has 7 children. Okay? She does.
Yeah.
She cannot financially support herself. So is she going back to Florida? You know, Jim Boob and Michelle said they'll do everything they can to support Anna and the kids. Now, that cup's got kind of a leaky hole in it because we know Jim Boob has never paid anyone for being on the show. He kept all the money. Anna was a huge participant in the show. She should have her own money, but she doesn't. She doesn't. She has to be dependent on someone, which is part of that sect. You have to be dependent on someone, especially a man. Like Michelle wouldn't know what the hell to do.
No. Oh, hell no.
No.
She wouldn't. No.
No way. So she can go to Florida to go back to her parents that basically pimped her onto perverted Josh, stay there with them, or get a divorce. And you know what? Honestly, if she pitched her own reality show, it would fly.
Divorce is not off the table, actually, because there has been a couple of divorces in the Duggar family on the other in-law side, but it's not off the table. Like, she can do it. It's not impossible. Other people have done it.
Absolutely, they have. They absolutely have.
Yeah. So, I've been thinking a lot about that this weekend, and I've been thinking, like, okay, I felt bad kind of for her because of, the religion and everything, and saying, like, well, was she forced into this or what? But I mean, once your husband, your husband touched his sisters in a not a good manner, in the wrong manner, and then you find out that your husband cheated on you, and then you have to have a covenant eyes thing on his computer to make sure he's not watching porn. I mean, at that point, she's got to be saying, I mean, come on, any woman would be saying, if you're standing by this man during all this, and now this, I mean, she's I don't see her choice. If I was her, I would divorce, of course, but I'm not in that religion, but I'm just saying that I felt bad for her and I kind of don't anymore.
I don't feel bad for her anymore. I don't. I felt bad for her when stuff went down several years ago, the Ashley Madison, and, I mean, he assaulted another woman. He should have been in jail then. Well, I mean, things should have been done when he was assaulting his sisters, but instead of law enforcement taking care of it, I mean, Jim Boob did him no favor by sending him to a Christian work camp.
Which all he did was sat on their bed and told them about what he did, and the supposed elder, fell asleep, so the wife was there, and that's why she got to go up on the stand against him. I mean, it was just,
Yeah.
it's just like, what good did it do him? Obviously none, because of all of the nasties that are going on now. And not only that, like you said earlier before I came on, she didn't allow forensic testing on her kids. Why not?
Why not?
If you've got nothing to hide, why not?
And it wasn't like it was going to be like what Sophie Long went through, okay? They wanted to check certain things out.
Right.
It's not the invasive testing that
No.
Michael Long put Sophie through because of the lies he made up, okay?
Right.
It was more of a they were asking permission. They had maybe I mean if they I don't know. I'm trying to word this right, so bear with me. I'm kind of shooken up right now about what just happened. Basically, it was for the best interest of the children, and she said no.
Which I don't understand. If you've got nothing to hide, why are you saying no? I would definitely want my children to, like, looked at.
Well, Spicy Lady said, "Well, I wouldn't want my kids looked at either." I wouldn't want see, and that's kind of where I'm on the fence. I wouldn't want my kids looked at either because as sheltered, especially as her children are, it would freak them the hell out. But like I said, the name of the show is Willfully Blind. It is. She has had a blind eye all this time. With his creepy sex addiction, wouldn't she want to make sure nothing ever happened to her children? Wouldn't she want to make sure?
Like, and I don't think while testing the children, I think that the doctors or the pediatricians will be very knowledgeable and not, say anything to them and make them feel very comfortable. Like, why would it freak the kids out?
But you have to remember too, nobody said that they wanted to do a physical examination. They could have just wanted to talk to the children. They don't just go in there and say, take your clothes off, here's a paper sheet. They
No.
could have just wanted to talk to them, and she even denied that. Okay, Charlie, you're right. Charlie said the same thing. It was more of a psychological evaluation. It wasn't what people are thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, if you've got nothing to hide, what's the problem? And is it because Jim Boob told her, no, 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 don't, we can't have any of that? That's possible.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because
It's
she listens to
absolutely.
them to the letter. I mean,
And the fact that her parents set her up with him because he's famous and they were okay with that situation, knowing what he did to his sisters, knowing that his parents covered it up. When did her parents decide not to give a shit about their daughter? I really want to know, or their future grandchildren, because if they would cover up abuse of their own daughters, why would they not cover up abuse of Anna? Abuse of their own children? And of course, what we know now he has done.
well, because apparently at that time, he had been cured by this Christian, whatever he went to. I'm not even going to call it a therapy because I don't believe it is. And who knows what they were thinking when they said, yeah, sure, you can court my daughter. You can marry my daughter. Who knows?
Well, what it comes down to is because Josh is a male, his behavior was excused.
Right. There's
That's
that.
really what it comes down to. You know, this whole no kissing before marriage and these goofy side hugs, you know, the chalkboards and lining up to do chores. What it really comes down to is they're bad parents.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. And I mean, apparently, I know, yeah.
And like Clark said, she stayed after all that, then subjected her kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh has done some nasty, nasty stuff, and she has stayed all in the name of her religion or because she loves him. That's her first love. Oh, honey, I think it's more of a I married into kind of an elite group. I was a nobody, now I'm a somebody, and I'm not giving that up.
Well, she needs to think of her kids. And I mean, unless I can't imagine conjugal visits. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to get that.
No, I don't.
But because I don't want her to be spitting out more kids while he's in jail. You know?
Well, I worry about that too. I don't think where he's going to be going, there's any prefabs in the back where they can bed down, but anything's possible, and she will make sure to get pregnant. She will, whatever it takes. I don't care if she stands on her damn head. She is going to make sure she has more Duggar children. Jenny Rose says, it's all about the beliefs of the church and it puts the children at risk. Yes, it does. It does. It does.
Definitely.
Yep.
I mean, I'm worried for his children, and they're very far away from me, and I don't even know them, you know?
No.
All we know is what we've heard and what we read and what's facts.
That's what we look at on this channel is facts.
Facts, exactly.
We all have feelings. We all have opinions, but we talk about the facts. We'll do some theories. We will.
Yeah.
We'll get out there and we'll say, ooh, could have been this, could have been that. Hang on. Kevin wants to tell us hi. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
He's muted.
Just a sec. I got to turn down my music.
Uh-oh. What are you jamming to?
Steely Dan.
Wow. You have been in a partying mood since Friday with that James Taylor concert.
Yeah, that's what got him going.
Dude, that was awesome. That was really, really just one of those you got to see in your lifetime if you grew up with James Taylor. That's just something you have to see, in my opinion.
I'm sure it was fun. I'm sure it was. I loved the pictures. Loved it. Loved it. Shell had a question. Does Anna get private visits in jail? I don't think private so much. I think they're all going to be lined up, sitting behind the glass, and she'll have a phone to talk to the pervert on. You know?
Ugh. Nasty. Sorry.
No, really. That's what's going to happen. And like
I know,
said,
but just the thought of it is nasty in my head. So I'm just saying.
it's all disgusting. So like I said, here she is 33 years old. And she's a prison wife. She is a prison wife. That's what she is. So what she thought she was in society as looking down on people. Oh, look at me. I'm on TLC. I'm one of the Duggars. You can't touch me. You know, basically getting an allowance and whatever she was thinking. How hard they fall is what it comes down to. Jenny Rose, you're right. Josh will not be safe in prison. No, he won't. Not when it gets out what he did. And that video that he paid for, there is one person on the video that is basically still has terrible after effects for it. Okay? Terrible after effects. And let's not forget the main subject. Well, I shouldn't say the main. Okay.
The youngest.
Yeah. The youngest was 18 months old. Her husband was slapping his monkey to that. And she showed up to court every day to defend him. He hasn't. We don't know. He hasn't been sentenced yet, Mick.
No, yeah, he hasn't been sentenced yet, but it'll be federal, and I'm not sure though because they do have an obligation to protect him, so they might put him in like solitary. Like the judge has an obligation to protect him, so who knows what's going to happen in jail.
He'll get an ass whooping, in my opinion. Those people, man.
If he's out in public.
Yeah, those people in jail don't place when it comes to children and shit.
No.
You know,
No.
You can't be in general population because they know why you're there before you even get there. They do. I mean, there's gangs that run in prison that are very well organized. They know who you are.
Well, they're watching the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dangerous in prison when you're going for shit like that. So, oh well, he made the wrong choices. What an idiot.
Oh, he definitely made the wrong choices. But the problem is, besides his wrong choices, I totally believe something happened to Josh. Okay, I do. And the reason is because as sheltered as these kids were, someone gave him the idea to do the nasty things that he did to his sister. Okay.
Did he learn it from his dad?
Could be from Jim Boob. I've always kind of wondered. I don't know.
Well, because usually that shit follows in the family. We've seen that, all right?
Uh-huh.
So
I just wanted to mention Charlie Hunt said it's not solitary, like it's like Chris Watts, it's a secured cell. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, solitary is totally different. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're not in that world, so we don't really know the lingo, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I hope they throw him to the woods.
There you go.
I'm serious.
Let him loose in the Ozark Mountains.
Yeah, turn him loose in the hollers. Yeah, turn him loose in the hollers of West Virginia and see how long he lives.
There you go.
Yeah. Been there, done it.
So over the last couple of days, we talked about this. What was it? Thursday or Friday? I think it was Thursday. So over the last few days, his sisters have come out and they have given statements about how they feel about the trial, how they feel about what he did. One sister said she knows she's been lied to. This is actually my favorite statement. I'm going to read really quick. I'm going to put it on the screen. This is from Ginger. Oop, I got to put it this way because that's too small. As we are processing this week's events, several thoughts have come to mind that we feel are important to share. We are saddened for the victims of horrific child abuse. We are also saddened for Josh's family, his wife, and precious children. We are saddened for the dishonor this has brought upon Christ's name. Josh claims to be a Christian. When a professing follower of Jesus is exposed as a hypocrite, the response of many will be to challenge the integrity of Jesus himself. They'll question the legitimacy of a Savior whose so-called followers privately delight in the sins they publicly denounce. This is why the Apostle Paul told religious hypocrites that the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles because of you. For Josh, we fear for his soul. It's a lot to take in. So let's just break that part down because I love that she is calling him a hypocrite.
Yeah, she put it into words perfectly. Blurks, are you there?
Yeah.
She put it into words perfectly, I find.
I'm here.
Mean, I think that that everything she said is perfect, and I'm not sure if she's one of the sisters that was inappropriately touched, but sounds that way.
Yeah. It's pretty damn nasty what he did, and he got away with it.
Yes, it is.
And I'm just
Yeah,
glad that these girls are stepping up and they're saying their truth, which is totally against the way they were raised.
yeah, he got away with it all
They're in
right.
Arkansas. Just roll with it. They're in Arkansas.
Sorry, Kevin, what were you saying?
Oh, don't worry. He'll have to answer for what he's done one way or another one day. So, I mean, that's what all I'm going to say about that. You always got to answer to somebody.
Well, he's answering to federal law because he's locked up and he's going to get sentenced. She said, yet amidst our sadness, there is gratitude. We are grateful that God is a God of justice who cares for the innocent and the helpless. And of all the people in this world, he especially loves children who are among the most vulnerable. This reality makes the existence of sex trafficking and child abuse one of the most horrific evils imaginable. It is an evil God hates. Jesus welcomed and cared for children, seeing their helplessness as opportunity to protect, not exploit. And his harshest indictment was reserved for those who caused them to stumble. It would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck and to be drowned in the depth of the sea. For those who follow him, he requires the same compassion towards children. She's 100% right. How can you be a follower of Christ in that religion and you have done these nasty things to your sisters and you paid all of this money to support horrific child abuse and you watched it?
Yeah, you want to know where the devil likes to go? To church. Trust me, he's in there too. So.
Oh, the devil likes everything. Hell, the devil's at Walmart. The devil's at the restaurant. The devil's everywhere. But the devil,
he's in church.
most importantly, in this case, was in Josh's heart. And there wasn't enough anyone could do to get rid of it. She said, we are thankful to God for exposing Josh's actions into a legal system committed to protecting the innocent and punishing the guilty in this case. We are grateful for justice. We are praying for further justice, vindication, protection, and healing for all those who have been wronged. That's a lot. That is a lot. And you're right. The devil hides everywhere. And in church, bad things happen to people in church. And I will never, ever, ever tell people not to go to church, worrying about going to church or anything. Nothing like that.
Yeah, don't think the devil doesn't like getting one of God's people. I'll tell you that right now. I'll just stop right there with that opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Natalie said the devil wears many outfits. Absolutely. Yep. Fancy said wolf in sheep's clothing. That's exactly what Josh was. But I want to know who the wolf was that got that sheep to put on wolf's clothing. Because Josh was taught this behavior. He was exposed to this, and that's why it escalated to this level. Absolutely sick.
It's hard to say, it's really hard to say. I mean, did you ever, I don't know if you ever noticed, but every time they get married, like Jim Boob has a little meeting with them and tells them, how it's supposed to be in the bedroom. and he gives them a little book.
Uh-huh.
And so in that little book, does it say that you're allowed to do the crap that Josh has been pulling?
Nope, that's not the book for sure. And like I said, I mean, between, the goofy side hugs and the chalkboard and everything like that, he certainly never put that on there. You don't do this. You don't, if you have, no, when your hormones kick in, you don't get to go mess with your sisters. Also, once you get married, that should have been in the book. You don't get to get on Ashley Madison or other dating sites and talk to other women.
So he was grooming them kids.
Somebody obviously taught Josh this behavior, because out of 19 kids, only one has done this.
Exactly. But
The oldest, right?
oof.
He's the oldest?
I don't know the case that well.
He's
All
the
I know
oldest.
is this is some sick shit. That's for sure.
Or
Yeah.
him and Jana are twins, one of the two.
I you don't want to know what I say due to them kind of people. I mean, hey, I'm not perfect and all that, but damn it, there's a limit that somebody can cross. And you start fucking with kids like that, that's messed up in my books.
No,
Sorry.
you're right.
I will never agree with that ever. I will fight tooth and nail.
No, you're exactly right. And Katie Bird, you're right. Michelle did say that the wife should sleep with their husbands whenever the husband wants to. Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
No matter what, you don't feel good, too bad. You got a stomach ache, too bad. They don't, I want to, so you need to, get on with it.
Well, it's like a baby. I want what I want when I want it. That's a baby. That's what a baby does. I want what I want when I want it. A lot of adults are like that. They want what. See, the thing with that sex shit, from everything I've read, is, they get immediate gratification from that kind of shit. And when you start talking about this kind of level of shit, it just blows your mind. I can't wrap my head around how you could do that to a child. I don't get it. I never will.
I don't either. And my son came home one day and he had been kicked in the balls by a girl with winter boots on. And he's like, Mom, it really hurts. And my husband was home. So I said, okay, well, I guess I got to check this out, right? I mean, I have no choice. I'm his mom. So I check it out because you never know what can happen. But as soon as I had long nails. So as soon as I grabbed them, well, he was standing up straight. His little thing was standing up straight. Just put it that way. So I was like, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You can ask your dad to look at it when he gets home.
But wow, this is a deep chat, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that was something I had to look. He was my son. I had to make sure that I hear you.
Yeah, we've had to look at our kids and stuff like that. We've changed their diapers. We've given them baths and things like that. I mean, absolutely. I mean, that, of course, we're their parents.
Well, yeah, we're not going to let them go dirty just because they have a penis.
No.
You know what I mean? But, you change your kids' diapers. It's like not a big deal. You don't even think about the gross part of it.
Well, think about how Hannah had to stand over Josh because she was worried about him changing their own kids' diapers.
Oh, see, man, that's what I'm saying. Some shit should have been done way before this. This behavior. Let me tell you something. This I imagine it had to be going on for quite some years before this shit came to a head. You just think back of all the things that he did before he got caught. That's enough right there to make you cringe.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
When someone gets caught, it's never the first time. Never.
Nope. Never.
Maybe blooded murder. That's one that it's like, whoa, you can't, that's not something people just get away with over and over and over. That's a different thing. But something like this, how long was it swept away until they did something about it. And that's with the sisters. I think it's when the babysitter came forward. And that's when, instead of doing the right thing, they put him in that Christian camp. That's
So how
what
many kids did he abuse total? One?
No.
his sisters.
How many? How
I
many?
think it was like 4 or 5.
Oh, and they all were sexually molested?
By him, yeah. But there's, I think it's
Oh,
four
dude,
of
that
them,
guy-
and I'm not going to say their names.
Oh.
You know, it's all out there.
No,
and
don't.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
No.
No, I ain't gonna say their names. I don't even know who they are, and I don't want. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't want to know, but I would never drag their names into this.
They
But
were inappropriately
that guy
touched.
that dude needs to be taken out to the woods, in my opinion.
Kevin,
So-
they were inappropriately touched over their clothing, apparently. And
With what?
one time it went into digital abuse. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Man, can you?
Yeah.
How long did them kids suffer with this? Think about that for about a second. How many years had this been going on before it boy? You know, and the end result, when you're this sick, you know what the end result is? Murder, usually. They get so sexually violent towards the end, they'll just choke their victims, and they love it or smother them. That's what this kind of sick shit leads to, in my opinion.
Right.
If it's not, I'm
And
serious.
his
I mean,
escalated too. His escalated too. I don't. There's not anything in me that tells me that he was a wonderful husband to Anna.
no way,
Sorry.
no way
No.
possible. But
No.
what the hell is wrong with her?
It's just
I mean-
it's her religion, and she is going to stand
That
beside
ain't no religion.
No. Uh-uh.
No, man. God doesn't. No, God does not favor that. I'm sorry. No
Nope.
way. I'm not going to get into religion, you know, who's right and who's wrong and all that shit. But all I'm saying is the God I worship ain't going for that bullshit.
Nope.
But that's a
Whether
fact.
it's nope, you don't do that. You don't cross boundaries
No.
in any religion. So Fancy said, why did Josh think it was okay or normal to have attraction to his own family? I think he just has such a sexual addiction. That was what I shouldn't say that. His sisters were what were available to him. He's a predator. He is a predator. That's what he is. He is
Yep.
a predator.
Definitely.
Yeah, we know of another one too. You know, there's more than one of them. I know another
dude.
one.
There's so many of them. You know what?
Yeah, I know
You
another one.
You can open up a feather pillow and let all the feathers go everywhere. You can't catch them fast enough because there's so many of these sick ass people. Kate, Jim Bob said it was over the clothes. The girl said it was more than that. Exactly, the girl said that, but they swept it under the rug.
Because
Swept
Jim Boob
the
told
rug.
them to.
Jim Boob took care of that. Jim Boob says, no, it's just over the clothes. Don't worry about it. He's your brother.
You know what? I'll lay money on that this was learned behavior. I guarantee you, this was learned behavior by his dad. I don't know that for a fact. I can't prove it. But in my opinion, after watching this kind of shit for a lot of years, normally it's intertwined in the family. 9 times out of 10. Don't you agree, Brooks?
Absolutely. Somebody taught him this because they didn't go to public school. They didn't watch TV. They didn't have internet. They weren't allowed to be around any kind of material that would teach them this. Someone taught him this. Someone
Yep.
showed him this
I
behavior.
guarantee
They were
you.
very sheltered.
I guarantee it was his damn
I
dad.
wonder where Josh learned this behavior. Exactly. Okay, Danielle said, the adult entertainer he got with said he abused and choked her and everything. Imagine what Anna had to deal with. I guarantee Anna had abuse, and I still want to know why that adult entertainer that Josh was with, that he was violent with, why he didn't go to jail for that.
Did you
Why?
raise charges?
Why? Why was there no charges? Why didn't
Oh,
he
there
go
was
to
no charges. Oh. Well, because she probably paid him off, or she didn't want her life broadcasted in jail, probably.
But I'm going back
In
to
jail. I mean, in court. Sorry.
oh, she wouldn't have had a problem with that.
Yeah.
Who paid her off? Who paid her off? Because Josh doesn't have the piggy bank. Who's got the piggy bank, everyone?
Jim
All
Boob.
together now. Jim Boob. Who's got
Let's
the
say it all
piggy bank?
together.
Jim Boob has got the piggy bank. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got it.
So Jim, sorry about that, Brooks. So Jim Boo's this dude's dad?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm following.
Okay, Darlene said he paid off the exotic dancer. I guarantee he did. Who's got the money? Who exploited the kids? Who made a brand? Who built up his name? Who's running for office? You know, come on. Come on. Who didn't ever pay his kids? Or Anna, because Anna had the 6-part series getting married. 6 parts. It was huge on TLC. I mean, all the way up to the wedding, the courtship, all the way up to the wedding. I mean, it was huge.
They made a lot of money.
Tons of money.
You can
One
bet
of the-
old Jim Bob doesn't want his name trashed around YouTube.
Well, he's getting it. He's had it for 10 years.
Is that right? Wow. Yeah,
Mhm.
because that's learned behavior, in my opinion. I would just bet on that.
And no one's trashing his name. I do facts. I don't accuse people of anything. Never have,
Nope.
never will.
Just opinions.
Yeah,
It's just my opinion.
that's it. All right, so now we get to what's going down right now. Jana, and I'm just going to touch on this lightly, okay? Because I'm really... First of all, let me say this. People have asked why I'm talking about this, okay? I don't do reality television. I don't talk about celebrities. Maybe here and there I'll mention something. Maybe here and there. We're a crime channel. We talk about true crime. We talk about facts. We don't have feelings. We'll give our opinion here and there, but it's about facts. This is a true crime case. Josh Duggar is in jail. He was convicted last week. So this isn't like, we're not in the entertainment world. We're not in the Hollywood world, if you know what I mean. So I just want to preface that. So anything that we're talking about has to do with crime. This is definitely a true crime case. So we know what happened to Josh. Now his sister is in trouble for child endangerment. I've got a lot of problems with this. I'm going to tell you why. This girl, Jana, well, she's in her 30s now. I've always looked at her as like Cinderella. Cooking, cleaning, raising her siblings. She would have had, it's like you would, at one point I thought, does this girl have 8 arms? How is she taking care of all of these children? Cooking, cleaning, and the other siblings were doing it too, but she was the main one doing all of this. So she falls asleep watching someone's children. I'm going to guess it's Josh and Anna's, that she was watching them so Anna could sneak off and go see Josh, because Josh was not allowed to be around his own children. What do you think? And now she's got to go to court January 10th for child endangerment, because when she was asleep, one of the children got out of the house and got in the road. Why is that punishment so strict on her when it was clearly an accident, and this woman has probably never even had a speeding ticket?
Probably because she's a Duggar. And they're like, hey, big news. You know, Jana now is in trouble with the law. And it's like, she was not downloading CP. She fell asleep, the poor girl. I mean, she's not even married. Why isn't she married? Because she's been so busy taking care of her sisters and brothers and everybody else?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, she has been like the mother in that home. I just really think they should have given her a break. That's all I'm saying. They should have given her a break. What do you guys think? Do you think they should have given Jana a break? I think they should have given Jana a break. On this channel, we can agree to disagree.
I think they should have given Jana a break. I mean, she fell asleep, like you said. Like I said, she wasn't doing anything nasty. The poor girl fell asleep probably from exhaustion, But I mean, and I'm not saying it's right. One of the kids got out, and was in the road. Somebody called CPS because people are nosy, and that's what happened. But what do I think? I think they should have given her a break. I agree with you.
I think they should have cut her some slack.
Yeah.
She's raised all her siblings, whether you want to believe it or not. I mean, she did cooking,
She did.
cleaning. I mean, things that, geez, a 4 or 5-year-old girl shouldn't have had to have done.
No.
Catherine said, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, I guess they're parents of the year. No, not even close. No, I'm going to take that as sarcasm. Danielle, you've had some killer comments today. Anna stayed with Josh at night and spent all the extra time with him. So yeah, it was most likely, it's most likely their kids. That's what I'm guessing too. I put the link up if anybody wants to come up and chat. Pamela, you're exactly right. Leave Jana alone. Jana should not be charged. Jana should not have to go to court or anything. Nothing like that. So I'm going to go back to my story I started with earlier, and I told you when I tell you the end of it, it's going to blow your mind. So I know a lady, and she is in basically a religion similar to what the Duggars are in, okay? And her husband was downloading nasty stuff like Josh, okay?
Okay.
He was sentenced to 20 years and served 4.
Oh.
Okay?
No, that's not okay.
Yeah. So people thinking that he's going to the big house for the rest of her life, I just don't see it. Because that's one person that I know. I will never speak to that person again because, like Anna, she defends him. She even said that he opened an email and clicked the link. That's what she said. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. I said that to her. It doesn't work that way.
No.
That's the reason they take the computer. They look at everything you've searched. How did you pay for it? If you just click a link, the feds don't show up 5 minutes later and say you're going to jail. Pamela, you're right. Jana is the only sane one, because let me tell you, I think Jill's pretty damn sane. I think Jess is pretty damn sane.
Well, they've left and they've moved away to a different state, so yeah.
Yeah. I think Ginger's pretty damn sane. Absolutely. Well, her brothers, I think this is super cute that they put this up because, well, hell, she raised them. James Duggar, I support Jana Duggar. Jace said, bro, same.
Yeah.
And they should support your sister.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was a mistake, not right. I mean, I agree, not right in the fact that a kid got out and could have got hurt. Okay? But it happens. It's not the end of the world. Go to court for this? Ridiculous.
No, and I'm just wondering who pissed off who in that county to give her a charge like that when basically she fell asleep. Nobody was hurt.
No, nobody was hurt.
First offense.
And like you said, you probably never got a parking ticket.
Yeah. And I mean, people are going to chew me up for this, like, oh, what about the kids? What about the kids? Nobody was hurt. That's why I'm saying they should have let it go and told her, Listen, don't let this happen again. Yeah, Joyanna is definitely a sane one. So no, Jana's not the only sane one. There's a lot of other sane people in this, good people in this, that actually do walk the walk and talk the talk, unlike Jim Boob, Michelle, and Josh.
That's right.
And Anna.
And Anna, yeah. I don't know what Anna's going to do now. I mean, it's going to be, we're going to have to watch and see. Because we don't know, right?
Yeah.
We have opinions, we have thoughts, and our opinions are divorce, the dumbass, but excuse my language. But just get rid of them, divorce, go away. But who knows what she's gonna do? Jim Boob, is he gonna take care of her and her 7 kids? I have trouble believing that.
That's what that's what we were saying earlier. You and I were talking earlier, and I brought it up. The statement they made. They'll do everything they can. That's a very weighted statement with Jim Boob and Michelle. Okay, very weighted statement. We'll do everything we can. So it's not a lie if they don't do a damn thing, because it's everything they can.
Yeah, but this they can't. So they need to keep the money. And these kids, I mean, they were on TV for a long time, and then there was a counting on with the younger ones. Mm-hmm. So with the girls that got married, and Josh, I guess, until shit came out. But anyway, excuse my language. But
it's okay. I won't tell Jim Boob you cuss.
No, but I know like YouTube gets sticky about it. Anyways, but I forgot what I was saying now.
Because you're worried I'm going to tell Jim Boob you're a cusser. It's all right.
Oh.
You want. You have my word.
Well, I don't know. I just think that I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Brooke.
Oh, I'm just going to read a comment. I love you guys' comment. We have the best chat on YouTube. We do. I love everything you guys put out there. Jessica said Jana has an attorney from the same firm that defended Josh. Well, they've got a lot better client to deal with this time. All right. They're not dealing with Satan himself. All right. I think it could be, they could get this thrown out easily. Someone's pissed off someone there where they're not covering for them. They're just kind of like to the point where they've gotten away with enough. And I don't mean the family. I don't mean the kids, except for Josh and Anna, who, like I said, is willfully blind and has turned a blind eye at everything her husband was doing. That's what I think. I think she has just looked away at all the nastiness.
Okay, it just came back to me what I was thinking.
Bring it.
The whole time they were on TV, he was making a nice payday, okay? Jim Boob and Michelle. And he was keeping it all. Everybody, that's out there. Everybody knows that. And these kids were being clothed at Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
And never, like, I don't think they ever got real, like, new clothes. And, I mean, they made everything from home. They had to do their own laundry when they were like 6, 7, 8, They had to show the other young ones how to do it when they went off to get married. What is this?
Responsibility is a wonderful thing to teach children. Got no issue with Goodwill because I love that store.
No, me either, but I'm just saying for life. I mean, when you got money.
Yeah. Well, he's got that money because he is frugal. I'll say that. But he should have shared with his children, or at least set up a trust fund for each of them when they get to a certain age. There's your money. That was your participation in the show, building up our brand, because it's a brand. All right?
Yeah.
It's a brand.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. And it's been said by several of the siblings, they were never paid. And now they're adults going, you guys had me on camera sometimes 12 hours a day, and I don't get paid? You're telling me that you're homeschooling me, people watching me do chores, being subservient to you guys. Look at them. They never have a fit. They always do what we say. I told you, I said in the last show, you and everyone else, Going to Eureka Springs, I did see the family in Tonytown. They jumped off of, like, it looked like a tour bus for like a country singer or something. And they're like filed up in single file. I'm not lying. It was almost like, it was like almost 3 feet between each of them, like perfectly single file, like it's a drill or something. You know, my kids just start flying out of the car. Hey, can I get a pop? Can I get beef jerky? Can I get candy? Can I get that? And they're all walking in, and I'm like, hang on. Something freaky's going on across the parking lot.
Yeah, I remember you saying that the other day.
Pamela said, Josh, Anna, and Jim Bob should be the only ones under observation. Yeah, well, they should be. They should be. Because don't think Jim Boob hasn't ever done anything sneaky with his taxes. Not going to believe it. I'm not saying he would put his name on it, but he would easily say, I didn't do that. I got advice from an accountant.
Probably.
Yep. Melissa said the exotic dancer Josh beat up was interviewed a few days ago. She was relieved that Josh is going to prison. She said she thought Josh was going to kill her on that night they got together. It's a wonder he didn't. But see, here's the thing. He got away with what he did to his sisters, okay?
Yeah.
When the whole thing went down in May with the video that he bought on the dark web, the nasty from Peter Scully, he wasn't worried. He's so entitled, and he's been taken care of for so many years. It didn't bother him.
Do you know that when the FBI showed up at the car lot, he actually said to them, "Oh, hi, officers. What is this about? Someone downloading CP?"
Mm-hmm.
He actually said that to the. So I mean, like, dude, you just admitted guilt.
Oh no, he thinks he's smart. He thought he was being smart. He was actually alluding to, he had suspected somebody was using his computer. Oh, well, buddy, they have the receipts. They knew what passwords you were using. They knew your method of payment. It was a federal investigation. What an idiot.
He used the same passwords as he used as his bank account. So do you give out the password to your bank account to everybody, Brooks? No. I don't either. My husband have it. My kids have it. That's about it.
Yeah. Yep. 2 people have it. And that's the ones that have access to the money. That's it. No.
Right. No. And the only reason my kids have it is because, they don't have my password to get into my bank account, like in internet, but they have the password for the card, because sometimes they go and do, they go and get stuff for me that I need, and I give them my card, pay for it. But they don't know how to get into my bank account, and that's what he was using. So it's like, no, that's what he was using. I don't know. Did they find out how he paid for it?
It was, the trial wasn't televised.
Publicized, yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, they knew where the money came from. They had the money trail. They had the passwords and the whole 9 yards. And Anna is sitting there listening to this horrific evidence. Where was Jim Boob? Where was Michelle? Where were they when this is going on? Because they didn't even I'm not saying they didn't believe Jim Boob. They were basically, you have forgotten a lot of facts. You have forgotten a lot of facts. So it seems like we're not going to need you, if you know what I mean.
Right. And to be honest, I mean, Anna had to walk out when they were showing videos of the CP.
Who wouldn't? The jurors were visibly upset.
Yeah.
Nobody should have to see an 18-month-old baby being trying to keep this as Sesame Street as possible. Hurt. Okay? Hurt.
Hurt to that extent, definitely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Being put through anything like that is a good way to put it. Nobody should have to see that, and they had to because they were the jury. And this was in Arkansas, and these people are well known. So everybody in that jury pool probably knew them, like, only by name, maybe, because I mean they questioned all of them and everything. But you know what I mean? They probably all knew of the name, and so when they saw this, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I wasn't on that jury, because I don't know, I probably would have to have therapy afterwards.
I think a lot of people are going to need therapy after having to see those images. It's not something that our minds could ever imagine or wrap our minds around. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure them jurors would have liked to get some ass whipping. In my opinion.
They walked out like visibly shaken. A couple of
Yeah,
these,
well, no
I would have
shit.
been sick at my stomach having to look at
Oh,
that. And
yeah, I
you
would
know
have
what?
puked.
I would have puked too. I would have puked too. And here's the thing. I was extremely worried about this jury because of the way that the Duggar family is regarded in Northwest Arkansas. I really was. I'm not going to lie. But like Fancy just said, that jury can't unsee those images. They already knew about the sisters. They knew about the adult entertainer. They knew those things. They already came in knowing about that, but they already knew that they're basically pillars of the society. Okay. That's how they looked at it. But
Yeah,
seeing those images would be enough to make you vomit.
that shit would burn. That would burn that etching in your mind. Seeing that, I would never even want to see them. Period. Ever.
Well, there's one that you can Google, and
No thanks. I'll watch
no, I don't want to either. But I'm not even going to say the name. But I was watching a lawyer that I know go over the case, and she said, like, don't Google that, because when you do, you cannot unsee it. You just can't. So don't Google it. But
You know what?
I'm not going to name the name of whatever it was. But no, I didn't.
It's the same thing as this. My daughter, when she died, was in the emergency room. They asked me if she was already dead. They come out and told us, I want to see her. I absolutely did not go look at her. Period. I wanted to remember her for, you know what I'm saying? That's just, but what I'm getting at is shit like, serious shit. It etches in your mind and you don't forget it. So I would not want to see those. That would be horrible.
No. But when you go on jury duty, you don't know what they're going to put in front of you, and you have to take all that information to make a decision. And that information, passwords, money, the computer, what he said when the feds showed up, all of that comes into play. I believe that unless you're new to life, they already knew about the other stuff. So they had to separate that. And then there's the sister sitting there listening to more dirty stuff he's done. What did the other siblings say? I don't mean Jim Boob and Michelle. What did they say when the adult entertainer made the accusations, which I believe are true? I believe her. Okay. I believe her. Why didn't everyone stand up then and say, we got to do something about this? Instead,
what was her accusations, Brooke? Sorry, I didn't know what they were.
He basically choked her. She thought he was going to try to kill her.
Remember I said, what does it eventually end up in?
Yeah.
Rage, murder. It does. That's sick shit. Eventually, if it's not treated, well, somebody will be hurt.
Somebody paid her off and she went away. And that's her. Whatever. That's fine. Okay, that's
Right.
how she wanted to
Yep.
deal with it. She didn't want to be drugged through all this. I don't know. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I don't think the
I
woman made
hear
it
you.
up. I don't think the woman made it up. What I think is super sick is that yet another disgusting behavior of his was covered up. Another disgusting ass behavior of his was covered up
By Jim Boob.
by Jim Boo.
I mean, opinion. That's just my opinion because
The
we
apple
don't know
doesn't
for
fall
fact.
far from the tree, folks.
Yeah, no,
Right?
what I mean, he had the money, so he had to pay her off. But I mean, that's my opinion, and we don't know that for a fact. So,
Yep. The apple does not fall far from the tree. That is so true.
very true.
Very true. Especially in molestation cases. That shit is learned behavior. They learn how to groom, all that. I mean, wow. I can't imagine living in that world. That would be absolutely like a monster, in my
Yep.
opinion.
What I don't understand is, like, I'm sure things have happened to their 7 kids, right? So I have a question because my daughter broke both her wrists one day. Okay, she was playing um, she was playing a video game. It doesn't matter, and she was standing up on a bench, literally, with her snow pants half down, and she fell off onto the cement floor, and she broke both her wrists.
Mhm.
When
Oh,
I brought when I brought her to the hospital, they told me to leave the room to question her about how she got injured.
Oh,
well,
absolutely.
you know
Because
what?
just in case it was child abuse, they want to talk to her one on one, and they can't have you sitting there going, in case you did it, which we know you didn't, but you can't have the parents sitting there eagle eyeing them, going, "Don't say anything, don't say anything." They have to have the child by themselves.
Yeah, I left. I left with no problem. I wasn't worried at all. I know I didn't do anything wrong. But I'm just saying that if those kids, if I'm going back to Anna, if those kids ever had anything bad happen to them, which I'm sure, then they had to be taken to the hospital, be checked out, just to be sure, because sometimes it's not broken, but you need X-rays, etc. Why wasn't that done in their case?
Well, I don't
Well,
think
my
they've
opinion,
ever had like any broken bones or anything like that, but I don't know why she refused to let anyone talk to them.
I don't know either. That's because there's guilt. I mean, and she knows. It's got to be that. I mean, that's just my opinion, but it's got to be that. Come on, what else could it
let
be?
me tell you, that woman, I guarantee you, feels guilty as hell. I guarantee you that's one of her main problems is guilt. Um, but here's what I'm gonna say: this, you codependency is a bitch. It can be really, really sick. A codependent, you got to remember these guys that do this bullshit. They know how to manipulate people too. They're narcissists, big time, and gaslighters. You know,
And
I
you're
mean,
right, she is codependent. She has
yep,
no job. So she's got
yep.
to be, and now she's got to be codependent on Jim Boob, who is
Yep.
basically saying, "We'll do everything we can to support Anna and the children." Well, and like I said, how far is that going to go? Because you have never shared your money. So what are you going to do? Say, come do chores at the house, mow the yard, do this, do this, do that, and we'll make sure to keep the lights turned on for you. And you're going to sit there and be a good and patient little wife until Joshy Poo gets out in a few years. What are they going to do?
You know what? If her heart stays true, I mean, she didn't get arrested for any of this, did she?
No.
No.
Okay. If her heart is true with God, I think God will give her a way out of having to ever deal with that man again. If she truly believes in the Lord, I guarantee you, Jesus, they will sway her away from that monster. But you got to remember one big word, 2 words: free will. There you go. And I just
Absolutely.
hope God stirs her in the right way to stay away from that man. That man's a monster.
Right. And you're
He's
right.
not going to be any better when he gets out either, because you just don't heal from that shit. Oh, excuse
No.
my language. Damn. Sorry.
you got to put another quarter in the cuss jar. Um,
Yeah.
and not to mention, when he does get out, he's not in there getting counseling or anything. He's not.
How many
Oh, no.
years? What did he get?
He hasn't been sentenced yet. He's in jail, but we don't know if he's going to get 20, 40, or if he's going to be out in, 4 or 5 years. We don't know yet. He hasn't been sentenced
In my
yet.
opinion, he should get life. In my
Me too.
opinion.
Me too.
Oh, everybody. But I mean, his sentencing is in about 4 months, I believe.
Mhm.
So,
Fucked up.
but their lawyers are saying that I know are saying that I watch actually on YouTube are saying he'll probably get 10 to 15 years.
Good God. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get out of StreamYard and come right back, okay? Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, this man is a sick individual.
Yes, he is.
Yep. Anybody that can do shit like that to a kid is, I mean, they're way out there. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, they are mentally sick, for sure.
I mean, yeah, if you're pleasuring yourself to watching this kind of disgusting, nasty, then you've got a serious problem, dude.
Right. Well, most of these people that are monsters like this, they have to have counseling for the rest of their lives. They'll go back to it. They're just like an alcoholic or a drug addict.
Oh yeah.
They're like a sex addict with kids, and they got to feed that addiction. And if the behavior doesn't change, remember this: if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
For a fact.
Brooks is
I'm
back.
back.
Yep.
I'm going to look at this comment from Amanda. The images, okay, terrible, terrible images the jury had to see. Terrible. And then Bobby Holt's testimony sealed his fate. Bobby Holt, you are a hero. You told the truth.
She's a saint.
Yep. She could have cowered down to the Duggars.
Not only to the Duggars, but did you suppose that her husband was telling her, "Don't say anything"?
Bobby's husband? I don't know.
Well, because he's in all that up and all in that religion too, and the queer movement and everything else. So, do you think that he probably said, "Oh, don't say anything"? She's like, "Well, I don't know what she. I'm just giving my opinion." She must have been saying to him. He must have been saying to her, "Don't say anything because they're our friends and this and that." And
I just don't think so. And the reason is because the husbands are the leader of the household. I think he told her, I think it's in the best interest to tell the truth. That's just what I think. But what she did was wonderful, and she told the truth.
Yeah, well, when you put your hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God, then you need to tell the truth. So help me God, because if not,
Yeah, but that kind of truth is very, very hard to talk about, I would imagine.
I agree.
You just don't go out and start telling people that you're doing that kind of shit. No, that's a secret. That's a big secret.
Well, she didn't keep the secret, and she told the truth.
Yep.
Hats off to her, and don't think there's going to be a Christmas card from Jim Boob and Michelle at Bobby Holt's house this year, because I have a feeling they're not happy about her telling the truth.
Amanda Page said Jim Holt testified that he told Josh how to build a Linux partition, so he supported his wife telling the truth on the stand.
Hey, I have a question, Brooks.
Yeah.
Has the father been exposed yet? Has he been talked about yet?
Oh,
for years and years and years. But he's running for political office right now.
Oh, of course. Of course he is. I wonder if he'd like a little dirty laundry.
Well, the thing is, I mean, he's squeaky clean. I mean, he doesn't have anything. I mean, not even a traffic ticket.
Oh,
Nothing.
well, so that's his dad then, right?
Uh-huh.
I just have a hard time believing that that wasn't learned behavior. I just do.
Yeah, it had to come from somewhere.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
did. And
somewhere in the church,
yeah,
a
that's
church
true.
friend, somewhere around. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like they were like alone all the time. I mean, they had a big church family. Bayleaf said almost as if JB had 19 kids for the sake of his own ego. Absolutely. But don't think Michelle didn't enjoy that stuff too. Please don't think that. Michelle loved to announce that she was pregnant.
Well, I can tell you one thing. If you learn it in a church, that would make sense too, because in church, those are big secrets, man. The dirty shit that goes on behind the wall.
So Brooke, you think he might have learned this from like after church talk,
Damn it.
chilling and talking with the other kids?
No,
No.
it's an adult. An adult.
Okay.
I mean, that or just, Josh was just,
sick.
Just sick, just born that way. I don't know.
He's sick. We can say it, how it is. He's sick.
So the next thing we should think about is, when are the higher ups going to really, really crack down on this child pornography shit? We need tougher laws, folks.
I agree. And I'm glad that the feds monitor what people do on the internet. Now, as far as what I shop for, what I look for, that gets a little weird. But when someone is buying child material like this, okay, I'm glad that they intercede it. I'm glad they investigate it. I'm glad they find where the money came from. I'm glad they investigate the passwords, and then they can crack the case. Because remember, this happened in May of 2019. It took them a long time to build a case and go through all of the code.
Nasty. Yeah.
The nasty. It took a long time, lots of warrants and everything to figure out what's going on from behind that computer and who did it.
Hey, Brooks, I got a question. How was the oldest daughter when they discovered all this?
Jana?
I don't know her name. I'm
Jana.
just asking you, what was the age of his oldest daughter when this was exposed?
31?
No,
go ahead, sorry.
Are you talking about his daughter, Josh's daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's a pre-adolescent. Let me put it this way.
So
I do worry that something might have happened to some of his children in that home.
That's exactly what I was getting at. I was just trying to figure out how long this may have been going on. That's all I was getting to. Sorry if I threw you off.
For a long time, because he touched his sisters and his babysitter in you're not supposed to do in a bad. I don't know. I lost my word, but I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but in a bad way. Put it that way, in an improper way.
And not to mention an adult entertainer, that he was cheating on his wife, and she said that she actually took responsibility for him going wayward on her.
Yeah, because maybe she didn't want to one night. She had a headache.
Yeah.
Well, my wife has him every night.
Oh, Kevin.
My wife has those headaches every night.
Damn, Kevin.
No, actually, when you've been married as long as I have, a little goes a long way.
Damn, Kevin. Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm just telling you the truth. Damn. But this guy, I don't know. He should never see the light of day again.
I don't think so either. But
he's like Candace's brother.
But I think the way it works is that I don't think he's going to serve as long as people think. I hope he does. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I hope he does. Amanda, I got to address this comment. Amanda says, Michelle blamed Anna for Josh cheating. So disgusting. Yep, she did. She did.
Wow. Yeah, that lady was a codependent big time, huh? She needed Al-Anon.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Big codependent. But part of it's the religion too. Remember, these girls are raised that you don't ever question a man on anything.
No, that's the
Nothing.
whole thing.
No, they go from their father to their husband as boss.
Hey,
As father, yeah.
we've seen two perfect examples, Jim Jones and Waco. There you go. That's what that shit leads to, in
Yep.
my opinion. You know, you start following some dude that you think's all godly, but he's really a monster and you know it. How sick are you? Also,
Charles Manson.
yeah, no shit. Look at, he never killed anybody. Only his followers did all the murdering. Charles Manson never touched a person, you know.
Hmm.
But he had such power over people, man. They pry on the ones that are, man, no self-worth, no, and they just pick them people up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But back to the case. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mean to get off track.
No, I'm the one that brought it up, so you're not off track. I was one off track.
Yeah. One thing about that, they found, you know how they found Charles Manson? I read the book, Helter Skelter, if you ever get a chance, read it. But his hair was hanging out. He was in a bathroom vanity, a little cupboard under a sink. They don't even know how he fit in there, but some of his hair was barely coming out, and that's how they found him. But
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
yeah, there you go. There's a piece of information.
Wow.
But anyway,
I didn't know that either.
Read the book Helter Skelter and then listen to the Beatles, Helter Skelter. Then you'll get the message.
Somebody is a former fundee and wants the link. So I'm really curious as to what she's going to say. Okay, guys. No other Sarah's coming up. Everybody be respectful in chat. And let's see what she has to say, because she's former fundee. Hi, no other Sarah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, the other Sarah. Hi, hun.
Okay.
What's going on?
Hey, well, I just wanted to give.
I'm having a little bit trouble hearing you, though. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're not mean.
Oh, we lost her. If you want to reach out like via email and tell me what you have to say, that's fine. I don't want you to feel intimidated to come up, but I mean, no one's going to tell anybody who you are.
Maybe she just at the last minute she can do it, or maybe she'll just be back. She was having trouble.
It could be.
In my opinion.
It could be.
It's a big bomb to drop.
It is. You know, and talking to, 500 people she doesn't know. Hello, Sarah.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know where I came in the conversation, so please feel free to prompt me. But I was a former fundee until maybe a couple of years ago, and our grouping was not unlike the Duggars, maybe with a little more birth control. It was kind of frowned upon. But I think one thing that everyone needs to understand about Anna is it's not just that she has a husband in a covenant marriage, but when your salvation or something very close to your eternal life is tied to that of your husband, it is very hard to find any justification to leave him, as much as explain away all of the reasons that you must stay. Because I was in a not quite obviously as bad of a situation, but all manner of things were done to me, and I was like, but he is my husband. I said I would give my life for him. I said I would be with him until the day we were both gone from this earth, because you're under his umbrella, which is, there's literally a picture they teach you in school when you're a small child, that your dad holds the umbrella, God's under that umbrella, and then your husband eventually carries that to protect you from this world that is only here to strip you from your salvation. And so that is something that people have to consider as well. It's not a good reason nor an excuse, but it is something that is weighing probably very heavily on her mind of, is it worth it for the salvation of myself and then these children that are under her charge? You know, like, how bad was it? What did he really do it? Didn't the government put it in? I'm sure she's got all manner of excuses going through her head of how he did not perpetrate this, and in the back of her mind knows that maybe he did.
Mm-hmm. No, you're exactly right.
But
I'm so glad that you brought your own personal story up here, because when you're holding someone, saying you could possibly go to hell.
Right. And sometimes it really does depend. Some people feel like you will not be as exalted in heaven. Like, maybe you'll go, but you know, it's not going to be awesome. And then there's the others where it's like, it's this or nothing. So, you know, there aren't many deviations within that sect of Christianity, but it's pretty close to, well, you must have never really been saved because look at how your marriage ends up.
I'm so sorry for what happened to you.
Which is condemning someone.
We're very sorry for what happened to you, and you're very brave to come up and tell everybody about it.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, it's one of those things that's very cathartic to speak on. I'm still in the same community that I've always been in for 20 years, and I'm much older than that. But it is a cultural phenomenon here, and evidently in Arkansas as well. And, you know, but I think a lot of people are like, well, she had to know. I was like, well, she's got 7 kids. I mean, I've got 2, and you could probably get away with a lot of crap in my house. But, you know, on the other hand, you know, she was also being held as her husband's accountability partner, which is very interesting because typically a woman would not be her husband's accountability partner. That tells us a lot about how their family is very introspective. They do not want outsiders, because normally what my accountability partner would be someone like a third party that's not related to me, not intimately involved in my day-to-day dealings, that can say, hey, you know, show me your internet history today. And you would have almost, you know, not a stranger, but not a close person to you. That's, you know, I find it very interesting that she was the one that was supposed to hold him accountable when she doesn't have the authority within the sect to do so.
I found that odd myself. And now, mind you, a lot of people have been coming out after me saying, well, I mean, you're Baptist too. Why are you talking about this? I'm not that sect of Baptist. You know, I'm not that.
Like, we don't know them.
I already said,
like
I've seen them. I've seen them before on the way to Eureka Springs, and I got decently drunk that weekend. Okay, so I'm not that sect.
Oh, you're not even as bad as I was then if you were drinking. I mean, Lord, if you look at wine, we could get in trouble.
Yeah, just like Michelle. I mean, she had that, Michelle Duggar. She had that meltdown when that guy was trying to get the liquor license in their county like it's her business. And she's like, I won't have alcohol in my town or whatever. And I'm like, but you'll have that other filthiness. You'll take advantage of your kids, slave labor. You're subservient to your husband instead of being a partner. You cover up what your son has done to your daughters, but you don't want someone selling Coors Light down the road? You're worried about that?
And Michelle and Jim Boob actually kissed before they were married. She admitted that.
She did it. She wore pants and everything. I mean, they basically, what they were saying is they wanted to raise their kids better than how they ended up, which I always thought was a little bit odd, because she was like a cheerleader. He would talk about how cute she was. And I guess, you know, obviously that's lust. And you see how that turned out. They got married and everything and had kids. I mean, that's horrible. But I never did understand why they felt the need to transition to such. I think they were Christian before, but they just went to a whole different level. And if you guys want, I don't know if you've discussed it previously, but the person that they follow with this Quiverful is just, I mean, if you want to know where they learn this behavior, it's from him, and it's by moving people from church to church instead of dealing with the issue, because God will deal with it. Mm-hmm. I was like, God can deal with it through the police. It's fine. That's why they're here. I mean, but I have seen that with my own eyes, like teachers being moved from a private school to a private school, and asking those questions, which is, should we be concerned that they were exposed to children. And they're like, oh, no, it was a spiritual matter. I'm like, that's pretty broad. Obviously, I was super popular within my circles before I left. But, you know, it was one of those things where no one wanted to ask. I need to know, even if it's private. I was like, because if someone stole and laundered money from a company, they would go to jail. Why aren't these people who are talking to kids inappropriately or on the edge, if not already into a criminal activity, being held accountable? But now they're moved from state to state, from church to church with their resume, because as long as it's not happening with us. And the only other thing I wanted to really address, I think Kevin had brought up before, learned behavior. And I would say that that is true statistically, but I will also mention that a lot of times with, I guess, incestual touching and things, you're talking about a family who has tons of acreage, who has utter and total privacy. They, at one point, did not even attend a physical church location. They did in-home spiritual, because they didn't see anyone that was authoritative enough to teach them in a group setting that would adhere to the Bible the way they translated it. So when you do that, and I was at one point not that isolated, but the first time you get online and you find something that's not quite kosher, you get obsessed with it. I can attest to that, and I was not even close to being as isolated as they were. It is, to me, completely plausible that due to him being the techie guru of the family, despite his presentation in court, and which was shot down by others, he probably on his own came across something and was like, I want to figure out what that feels like. And he had female siblings close enough to test that out when he was, you know, pubescent. And I don't find that completely out of the realm, and that the parents then just took the course of action of, we're going to handle this spiritually. And then when an outside babysitter gets touched, then all of a sudden law enforcement's involved.
That's very interesting. You're bringing up very interesting points that we didn't know. So we appreciate you coming up. Everything you're saying, and it's very brave of you to come up here and tell us about it. And
it's absolutely amazing. I mean, when you tell a personal story, you don't know us, we don't know you, and for you to tell that is absolutely amazing. And the fact that you got away from it, you didn't get away from God, you didn't get away from the church, but from the way you were being treated.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I think I appreciate most of all people who are willing to listen and to understand this is just my experience. I cannot postulate too much on what other people do in their own homes, but I can just say, you know, I can see how certain things could be realistic. And also, there's always that hope that someone hears that story who's in a very similar situation is like, well, she seems like she's okay. And for the most part, yeah, I'm okay, right? I have my days, but it's very much like I wish I'd had more people in my ear saying, you can do this, and it won't be the end of the world like they tell you it's going to be. You know, because you do think it's going to be the end of the world. Like, you will not have the things that you have, that you don't even care about material things at some point. You don't care where you're going to live. You're like, no, my spiritual life is over. Like, what I have known is done if this is not true. And what I have found is that you don't necessarily know the truth, and you must seek it on your own. You got to get all these other negative things out of your ear about what people have grilled into. There's a reason why there's catechisms and things like that, where they just drill into your head, because it is the thing you go back to when everything hits the fan. She's probably not thinking logically. She's thinking scripturally. She's repeating those verses, probably in King James, that you have read a million times, but right. She knows them by heart, and they will flood your brain with so much that you cannot think logically. And that's the danger of being in her position, is like, yeah, it's easy enough to say she should leave him. She's not thinking that. She's reciting her marriage vows. She's remembering who he was when she married him. Yeah. She's constant grace, forgiveness. It's all she's saying in her head, and all the scriptures, you know, throughout the Bible that support that. You know, I'm not going to bore you guys with it, but I could repeat them all to you now. And it is something that, as nice as and wonderful as scripture can be, it can work against you too.
Yeah, it's almost a cult. It can almost turn into a cult.
Oh, well, I would dare say that Willful and the Goddard and all that is definitely a cult. They're just more spread out than most people, not concentrated into.
Exactly.
That's it. That's the difference to me.
Gothard is definitely a cult. And how Jim Boob and Michelle got into that, I don't know. Because, I mean, they were definitely spiritual. They were, definitely followers of Christ, definitely Baptists. So how they got to that sect, I'll never know. I want to tell Mama of Six real quick. Hey, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you very much. And if it's okay, Sarah, a few people have questions for you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Brett wants to know, when did you decide to make the change? If it's too personal, do not answer.
Oh, that's fine. I'm at the point in life where I'm like very open with like telling people what my boundaries are. So it was a matter of when I realized he threw my phone across the room.
That would do it.
Well, his brother's an officer of authority, and he said, I'm going to hit my face, and I'm going to tell them you hit me, and you're going to jail. And I said, okay, I'm definitely out. So yeah, moments like that will bring you to light when you realize that your moral scruples are only as good as getting your own way, that that person is not my umbrella, and my dad did not think that that would have been appropriate. I was afraid to talk to my parents about it, frankly. And because they kind of thought we'd gone a little bit over the edge with some things as well. And, when you have someone tell you, I am willing to tell the police that you did something you didn't even come close to doing in order to get you in trouble because you're not listening to me, over something minor, that's when you got to go. That was it. But if that tells you anything, that tells you how ridiculous it had gotten up into that point. Because that probably wasn't even the most major thing that had happened. It was just the thing that kind of made my mind go, this is not okay.
So I have a question for you. So when you did leave, having limited schooling, I'm assuming, right?
I was privately educated. I was fortunate in that case, but it was a Christian private education, so it wasn't homeschooling. But I was put into a academically inclined Christian school, which you don't find a ton of. I'll give them credit for that. They did a lot of doctrine, but it wasn't so heavy on the doctrine that I lost my academics.
So you were able to leave and get a job and everything else?
Yes, I was working at the time. That was another issue, was that I was working. It was frowned upon. I wasn't supposed to work. I'm supposed to stay at home with the child, and I'm not the greatest at not working. So I was just like, well, you knew I wanted to work when you married me, so you're just going to have to deal with it. And that was probably why we didn't get along a whole lot, is because I was very rebellious. I mean, I was coming home every night after work, wasn't staying out till 4, but somehow I was like the black sheep of the group. I'm not really clear now on how that works. But yes, I've always had maintained a career and
Wonderful.
Not just a job. Yeah, that was definitely not ranking me socially in my group. Everybody else was either a stay-at-home mom or they had a job like at just a regular store that they could quit and go to at will. Does that make sense? Like, it wasn't like a bad job. It was just like they were not motivated to move up because they didn't want the extra responsibilities and the time that would come with that.
Yeah, I understand.
Now,
Okay.
you were very fortunate to go to those kind of schools, because my kids were homeschooled, but through a Christian program. And a lot of those schools that you're talking about, they're so far above the public school system. They really are, to be real and honest.
Oh, yeah. And so part of that privilege, and it straight up is a privilege, is because I was adopted when my parents were older. They had already gone through the hard times. And, I'm the only child that had that experience, because the rest of them, Dad moved a lot with his job, things like that, which was only helping us grow. But I think they were late 40s when they got me. So their hard time was energy. As I'm sure you understand, Kevin.
Right. Yeah.
They just tried to keep up with me best they could.
No, you're right on point.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to do that and be able to keep your career, and so you didn't have to follow as much, and you were able to leave without any worries about money, etc.
Well, we'll say yes, and but we'll also, I think, have to acknowledge it's definitely, I'm still paying off some of the legal fees from that. But yeah, it was something where I used to borrow my friend's, I guess, Costco or Sam's card, whatever you guys have an equivalent of a big box store. And I would go get like oatmeal and like just some fruit. And like, you know, that's what we ate that month. Like the creativity, but I also refused to do anything less than that. With just, we made it a game of different things. Because my biggest income thing has always been housing, you know, and for Anna and for women in her situation, I think we underestimate the programs that are available to women. And I had no idea my life could have been a little bit easier had I reached out. But then again, a lot of those charitable organizations are run by the same individuals that are perpetrating this on you, right? So you don't want to go to the church and say, I need a place to live. Like, well, where's your husband? You know, so, and sometimes, depending on your state or county, those programs can be few and far between. I'm thinking of a lot of programs in my area that specifically help with utilities and such, and those are all privately charitable organizations, some of which I know those people and would not have gone to them. And, you know, so it's easy enough to say, go get, you know, state aid, county aid. It is a very hard thing to do especially when you're a homemaker. You don't even know where the paperwork starts. And I was a business person and I didn't know about that. It just never came in my circles. So.
Can I ask you this?
Sure.
What do you think? Okay, so, you know, you explained to us about the indoctrination. Sorry, I'm saying the wrong word. Basically, what's in Anna's head. What do you think, just opinion only, is making her stay? Is it the notoriety? Does she really think she's going to be damned to hell, or, you know, not have a good place in heaven? Or what do you think is really making her stay?
I mean, I can only tell you what went through my head through all the stuff. Was like, I said I was going to be with him. And if he was, I remember when I went to secular counseling, I told my counselor, I was like, if he had cancer, I would be here through the bitter end. And he said, cancer doesn't try to kill you, Sarah. And not you, the other person, right? And then he said, and who he is today, maybe he was a good husband at one point. Like, let's just say that he was. That's not who he is today. And you have to deal with the person that you have before you and what they have done. I don't know that she's ever heard anything like that, but that was mind-blowing to me, because I was like, I'm here no matter how miserable it gets. Like I said, and if he's sick, which, you know, you could say that what he has done is very sick, mentally so, like rehabilitated or not. If he has cancer, I'm going to stay with him because I said I would. And that is all I thought of for years. And I don't know what else she would be thinking, because that's what I thought the whole time. I was like, I would be here. If he had some crazy disease, I would never leave. And well, this is a disease.
Kudos to you. I mean, yeah. Seriously, kudos to you.
Well, I appreciate it. I just don't, I can't.
Oh, well, dadgummit. Hopefully her link still works, because I wanted to hear more from her.
Yeah.
That was wonderful having Sarah up. That was wonderful. Everyone, thank you so much for being so respectful and listening to her, because that's, you know, we need to listen. And when we talk, we don't learn. When we listen, we learn. And it was amazing what she shared with us, because like I said, there's different sects of different religions, and she was in one where she was controlled.
And you know, when you're that wrapped into Christianity and you sin, that is like, in your back of your mind, you feel like the most awfulest person, because you have such a close relationship supposedly with God, right? Mm-hmm. So when you sin, it's very embarrassing. I mean, it gets to a point to where it's personal and you don't share it. And that's where it gets fucked up, you know? And, but yeah, I mean, that lady, I can't imagine going through that. Seriously.
I want to address something that I saw in chat earlier, really quick.
Sure.
We're not dissing homeschooling at all.
No.
That's not what we're doing. I mean, some mom of six, I think she said, it gives a bad name to homeschooling. It definitely does, but we're not dissing that at all.
Oh
There's
no, that's
nothing
not
wrong.
what she was saying. She misunderstood something else. No, she doesn't think that we're dissing anything. We're not dissing. However you educate your children, we are not dissing you.
No.
We don't get in your homes. We don't talk about what you do in your lives. Anything like that. We talk about the cases. And we throw out theories, opinions. We give our opinions, okay? We're human. We're human. We do. But no, we're not going to put any judgment on anyone in here. And when someone comes on panel, that's why I say you guys are the best chat on YouTube, because you listen. When we listen, we learn. When we're running our yaps, we don't learn a damn thing.
I guess
I
I'm
really appreciate and respect not I think it's not the other Sarah coming up here and sharing that with us, because it couldn't have been easy, and it educated us, because there's a lot of things we didn't know, and then she made good points.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. I got chills listening to her. I did.
I did too.
You have a lot of support in here, Sarah. I hope you come back.
Yes, you do. And welcome to our little channel here, and please subscribe and come back.
Yes, absolutely. If you're
for
new
sure.
here, subscribe, become a member. We got member perks coming out next week, just before Christmas. And hit that like button, smash it, or give us a dislike. It's okay. It's not going to hurt Kevin's feelings. If it's a dislike, I'm just going to blame Kevin anyway.
Yeah, I don't care. In my opinion.
But
No,
you can blame
I
me
do.
too.
I care what people think of me. I mean, I'm human. But sometimes you just gotta have broad shoulders and let the shit roll off your back. So that's all I'm saying about that.
Yep.
Well,
So
you can blame me. You can blame me, Brooks. I'll do it.
I'm not blaming nobody. Not blaming anybody. Nope.
I think the chat is very respectful. Oh, we lost Kevin.
Mama 6 said, I really think Derek and Jill would help her leave. Man, I'm hoping they do. I just don't know if Anna has the backbone to do it. I just don't. I don't know. We spoke earlier, she's so codependent. And sometimes people will stand behind their religion. Okay. Don't kill me for this. And they'll say, oh, that's my religion, so I can't do it. But the truth is they can do it, but they're too scared. They're too scared. That is their shield. That's their armor, not in a biblical way. That's basically their excuse for not doing better for themselves, for their 7 children, for not getting away from that perverto years ago. They just say, oh, that's how I was raised. That's my religion. That's how I am. I support him. I love him. Jim Boob and Michelle are going to take care of me and my 7 children. And hopefully I can further compete with Michelle, and I'll be lucky enough he gets out early so I can have, more children. I mean, that's really, it could honestly be an excuse. And in closing, I don't think Jana should have been charged with anything, because she had no intent to hurt anyone. No
exhausted.
Intent.
She's probably exhausted. She's probably exhausted, the poor girl.
K.A. Hicks 1 said, Anna is a disgusting excuse for a mother and a human being. You kind of took the words out of my mouth there, girlfriend. I didn't really know how to say it without saying it, but yeah. And Celeste said, let me say from experience, leaving a sect or cult is not easy, especially when shunning has been a basis for how you are forced to live. And that's another thing. And not only is she leaving Josh, She's leaving her way of life and everyone she knows. She will be in a world she's never understood. Let me tell you something right now, Jana Duggar, it's worth it for you and your children to get away. It's nothing worth it is ever easy. Nothing is ever easy. But if you're more comfy being tucked in every night, this is a metaphor. I'm not saying this is going on by Jim Boob and acting like you're there because of your religion or they need you or whatever. Your children need you. That's who needs you. You can get away. You can get away. And there's a lot of other churches that will help you get away from that.
There's always a way. There's always a way. Even though she's probably got limited education, as I was talking to the other girl about, there's always a way. There is always a way. You know, get out, Anna. If she's listening to this, get out. Get out. Girl, get out. Brooke?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I was letting you finish.
No, that's you know, seriously, like there's always a way. It's not always easy. And it's not easy. It's not easy leaving your husband in any case, no matter what religion you're in. It's not easy separating from your husband when you have kids. And even when you don't, it's just not easy. You cry, it's hard. I've been there. So, and I think you have too, Brooke. I'm not sure. But, you know, I'm just saying that there's always a way. There's always a way.
There's always a way. It's never easy. Nothing, no separation is ever easy. Whether you're leaving a job. Hell, I don't care if you're selling your favorite car and you're like, I love this car. I've had this car for, 10 years. I love this car. I don't know. Nothing's ever easy unless sometimes we make things very hard on ourselves and we make excuses because the wrong way is the easiest way. We woke up that way that morning. We went to bed that way the night before, and it's just another day.
And we think it's going to get better, right? We think it's going to get better.
You think it's going to get better. True change is very, very hard. MN Mama said, if there's a will, there's a way. Yep, there is. Yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. And sometimes people have to be forced to make that decision. I would think this would be a big force on her.
Yes, I agree. It'll be hard. It'll be very hard for her, but she can do it.
But I'm telling you, if dangerous Jill can go against Jim Boob, I guarantee Anna can. And I agree with Mama of Six. Jim Boob is a bully, and he probably has made some serious warnings. But I just want to tell everyone we have a lot of new people in here, and I love it. I love discussing everything. I don't care what it is. But I mean, I love talking about true crime cases and how this community is so open-minded, and we can agree to disagree. Every day, any hour of the day, we can agree to disagree. We don't see things the same way, and we don't have, the case file, but we can still agree to disagree. And then I see a lot of stuff in chat. I see things talking to Deb, even talking to Kevin, and I'm like, oh wow, I never thought of that. That's amazing. But when we listen, we learn, and we listen to each other. We're not here. No one's here as a teacher or being the all-knowing. We're all discussing the situation that we're talking about, discussing the case. And I absolutely love it. I love it.
Brooks, my phone is going to die, so I'm going to say thank you for having me on panel.
Well, thank you. I'm closing this down anyway. I'll see you in Discord. Bye, hun. I got to read one more comment. Okay, hang on. Beth said, I have one thing to say in Anna's defense. She may not have come to terms with walking away yet. I know when I walked away with my children, it about killed me. I questioned myself many times. And that's a lot of it. I'm glad that you told us that. That's a lot of it. Life is not just pulling off the Band-Aid. So I hope no one thinks I'm sitting here saying, Anna, just leave, just leave. It takes a lot of mental preparation, financial preparation, and yeah, her figuring out spiritually if she can do it or not, because that's part of her life. That's a huge part of her life. So yeah, life is not a Band-Aid. We don't just rip it off and say, all right, I'm done. I'm walking away. Okay, what are you going to walk to? How about this? What are you going to drive? Where are you going to live? How are you going to support yourself? I just hope that she's actually doing something to get her children and herself out of that mess. That's it. I hope that whatever happens January 10th with Jana goes away fast, because I don't think she deserves this. She is a modern day Cinderella. She absolutely is a modern day Cinderella. Okay? She is. She is. Beverly said, thanks for no swear words also. I can't always promise that. I have to bite my tongue a lot, Beverly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get better. All right, guys, on that note, thanks again for being here. If you were here this morning talking about Sophie Long being rescued by the FBI and U.S. Marshals away from her father finally, that was a great show. I'm so glad that Sophie's safe. And we will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., talking about Summer Wells. It's about deflection, deflection, deflection. The deflection is everything her parents have put out there about her disappearance. I like to chat with you guys between shows. So we do have a Josh Duggar room. We have a general chit chat room. We have all kinds of different things that we talk about. So send me an email, and I will get you the link. New subs, new people, please sub the channel. We will be talking more about the outcome of Josh Duggar either tomorrow afternoon or Thursday afternoon. I don't do videos. I do everything live because I like to talk to all you guys. I do. I like to hear what you have to say. That's how it is. All right. See you tomorrow morning or see you in Discord. Thanks. Bye-bye.